Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to another video. So it is the day after the election, and well, it's not officially over yet, but I wanted to talk about what happened in the price action, right? What happened in the markets and why, right? What were investors thinking? To give you guys a context, just more about, there is reasons behind these moves. They're not random. Um, and yeah, if you enjoyed the channel, if you think you'll gain value from this video, give it a thumbs up and do subscribe for more videos like this. Now, let's jump right in. So, here is the DXY. It's the US dollar currency index. Basically just tracks the US dollar, right? I would say the US dollar was the biggest mover of last night. And you can see here, crazy moves, closed here, opened down here, and then we saw like 100 and something pips for most pairs, but on the DXY, there's not really pips. So about a 1% move on up, and then almost a 1% move right back down after. So why is that? The US dollar sort of acts as a safe haven, right? That means that when things are uncertain or there is fear or, you know, something scary is going on in the market, uh, investors are going to go to safe havens, and the US dollar is going to go up when things are scary, in simple terms. So, obviously, elections, very uncertain. Who's going to win this election? There's a lot riding on it. There's a potential of it being contested, riots, etc. So, pretty uncertain times last night, and this caused the U.S. dollar to catch some buyers, right, going into some safe havens. Didn't last long, and then as the dust sort of settled in the election, and sort of that fear calmed down, that irrationality sort of calmed down. We also got big investors just preparing, right? Not necessarily expecting something really bad to happen, but you just need to be safe. And so they put their money into a safe currency like the dollar. And then, after they sort of adjusted their portfolios, they said, okay, you know, what do we think is going to happen? Well, there was then optimism, right? Joe Biden was expected and expected by and large to win the election and still is, right? Not saying it's going to happen for sure because, ballots are still being counted, but in general, the markets were thinking Biden is likely to win, which is good for. No, I'm not talking politics. It's good or bad. I'm saying in terms of what the markets are thinking, a Biden win means more stimulus for the most part, right? Conservatives are more conservative with spending. Democrats are more liberal with spending, right? It's sort of in their names, their positions on different things. So liberals are more liberal with spending and taxes and etc. But especially on the stimulus part, that gets markets excited, right? Because more stimulus pumps up the economy and should help support the financial markets, right? The stock market and the general economy as a whole. And so, as I said, the US dollar is a safe haven. And so we saw the market sort of retract, right? We sort of saw this big move retract. And that's because a Biden win is good for stimulus. So there's no reason to be in a safe haven like the dollar, right? Because when times are good, when there's optimism, then the opposite happens, right? People sell safe havens like the US dollar. So we saw this move retrace, right? So that was the price action. Now it's just sort of chopping around. We still don't know who's going to win. So not much going on there. And I just also am highlighting here, you can see this consolidation. Consolidation doesn't really happen for no reason, right? Now, part of this is lack of liquidity, right? This is the least amount of the least volatile time of any trading day, right? Is like the afternoon after US session closes and before Asian session opens, there's not much buying and selling going on, right? Because most banks are closed. Nothing's really open and trading, right? if you think about it as a moving time zone, it's sort of in the middle of the Pacific Ocean at this time, right? There's not a whole lot of banks in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, so there's not a whole lot of buying and selling, if you want to think about it that way, right? But also, when there's nothing going on fundamentally, usually the markets sort of chop around. There's not crazy moves because the fundamentals are what drives the moves. And if you understand that, if you understand, what's expected to happen and the probabilities of it, you can trade much more intelligently because you have a better idea of, okay, this is expected to happen. Maybe the likelihood is 60%, 70%. I can trade off of that and make money, right? Otherwise, if you're just trading on technicals, you're sort of trading blind, right? However, I also want to say, not to advocate for this, I wouldn't have traded during this time, right? Even if you had an idea about the fundamentals and, maybe you tried to short this, I wouldn't have traded just because of how volatile an election like that can be. So, but I'm just saying in normal market conditions, it's a good idea to have the fundamentals on your side while you're trading, right? You can still use whatever technical strategy you want, but just have a market context, right? So that's what happened with the US dollar. And, let's talk about gold here for a second, right? So gold, obviously when the US dollar shot up like that, gold does the opposite of the US dollar. And so it shot down here, but immediately recovered because, like I said, then there was some optimism. There's optimism going into it all throughout election night that, hey, things are good. Biden looks like he's going to win, going to be stimulus, positive stuff. So that made the dollar sell off, in turn helped out gold, right? So very simple correlations. And that was the main movers, right? I mean, the stock market did phenomenally well, right? Huge moves up. Again, because of optimism, right? So all these markets are correlated. If you want to learn a bit more about, correlation, check out the link below, right? I have my free training down there, which I will be taking off in a week or two, making some changes, so it won't be available anymore. Or if you want a more in-depth training, I also have my, 20 plus hours of training that you can get a hold of. That's the swing trading blueprint in the description below. That's all for this video. I just wanted to sort of give you guys an insight as to why some of these moves happened. And so if you gain any value, do hit that thumbs up button, right? Smash the like, and do comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Did you guys take any trades? Did you sit out? Who do you guys think is going to win? Whatever it is, comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
I come from a town where most of the people are so close-minded. They go into school and they work in a job, but they don't even like it. I won't be put in a box. Nobody telling me what I should rock. Nobody telling me what I should